Thank you everyone for tuning in to today's Words of Wisdom. Today's is from December 29th, and I quote, "If you make others unhappy as a result of your own self-realization, you'll have to go to hell. Those who have paved their way by using their will to change others for their own advantage will have to go to the rear part of heaven, if not hell." From the True Eightfold Path. Thank you, Master. All right, so Master is talking about the right direction of self-realization. In Happy Science, Master has given us plentiful teachings of how to achieve success and how to realize our goals and how to be fulfilled with the purpose of our life. However, the most important part of our teachings is not that technique of how to achieve success or the principles of how to achieve success, but if you're pure in heart or not. Because we talk about a happiness that carries over from this life to the next. Let's say that you do self-realize yourself, but if it's in a way that made other people unhappy, as today's quote suggests, you will fall to hell. That means that you're happy in this life, but not happy in the afterlife. And then let's say that you do pave a way using your will. However, you forced other people and you took kind of advantage of the other people, which means you did it in a very selfish way, not in a selfless or a caring way. And then even if you may fall to hell, that's a good possibility. But even if you don't fall to hell, you'll end up in the rear part of heaven. Rear part of heaven is one of the interesting teachings of the spiritual world that Happy Science or Master Okawa provided to us. If you want to learn more about it, it's please read The Laws of Secret. But it's a place where you do not want to go after death. Or it's a place where you do not want to connect spiritually while you are alive. It's filled with people who it's not necessarily hell, but they're very selfish, self-absorbed, focused on power rather than love. So it's really important not to go in that direction because they can easily end up causing harm to other people. So when it comes to the teachings of self-realization, what comes to my mind is this Kyoten, the Golden Laws, chapter 1. In it, he talks about true self-realization, and he gives 3 pointers, so I would like to read this section. It's on page 12. "You must never forget that misguided self-realization is the same in effect as reserving a seat on the express down to hell. In other words, you must be careful not to aim for the wrong destination. You must determine whether your self-realization will lead you toward Buddha or heaven, or if it will take you in the direction of the devil, that is to say, down to hell. This is a question you must ask yourself all the time. You can determine whether or not an aim of self-realization is correct by asking the following 3 questions. Number 1, if your ambition were realized, would it lead to the happiness of the people around you, to the happiness of all the people in the world? Number 2, if you succeeded in realizing your ambition, are you sure that it would not cause unhappiness to others? And number 3, if your ambition were to be achieved, would it improve you as a person? If you can answer yes to all 3 questions, you will know that your goal is a true one and your prayer is right." End quote. So yeah, number 1 is to see if your ambition were realized, would it lead to the happiness of the people around you, to the happiness of all the people in the world, is to check if your goals are heavenly or not. Is it for the purpose of making other people happier? So this is a checkpoint so that you will not fall to hell. The second one, if you succeeded in realizing your ambition, are you sure that it would not cause unhappiness to others? The same thing, right? It won't cause unhappiness to others so that you will not fall to hell. And maybe the first one, we can say that it's a direction so that you will not go to the rear side of heaven. You are sure that you're going to make other people happy. It's not only for your own purpose. And then the third one, if your ambition were to be achieved, would it improve you as a person? So would you go through a spiritual development? So asking these 3 questions, I believe, is very important and to do this time to time. We may first be pure in our intentions, but along the way, we tend to forget because we're human beings. We're living in this physical body, so we tend to make mistakes out of our worldly desires. which is, in a way, the sins that we created by ourselves. So, going back to the correct perspective of self-realization is extremely important. And in order to do this, meditation is required. You can't really sit on a table and think like, is this right? Is it in the right direction? Maybe you can, but it's better off to do it in front of your gohonzon, the altar that you can receive as a Happy Science member. And in front of the altar, recite the true words spoken by Buddha, recite a couple of the basic prayers, and then get into self-reflection mode, meaning it's an inner dialogue with your guardian spirit. You delve deeply inside yourself and ask yourself, this goal that I am achieving for, we write kigans or ritual prayers every month, right? If you're a Happy Science member, are those goals that we remind ourselves every day, is it truly coming out from a selfless purpose? Is it truly for the happiness and the love of other people as the proof of loving Lord God? And if you start reflecting on your goals from this perspective, from this higher perspective, you'll start noticing that some parts of it were tainted with your selfish desires. So sometimes it's important to cleanse that off so that we're always heading in the right direction. This, in the end, ultimately will make you happier, and it'll provide you with the power to bring happiness to the people around you. Let me end today's video by quoting today's words of wisdom. If you make others unhappy as a result of your own self-realization, you have to go to hell. Those who have paved their way by using their will to change others for their own advantage will have to go to the rear part of heaven, if not hell, from the true Eightfold path. Thank you. Thanks for joining. See you tomorrow.